Previously on the podcast.
Now, I don't remember a lot of this movie.
Nor do I. So let's go.
58 critic reviews have given it 83% on Rotten
Jiminy
Tomatoes.
Crickets.
So that caught me off guard.
Yeah. The critics really love this.
It's a cool flick with a good story, and it's worth paying full price. And I never say that about a Kurt Russell movie. Karina Montgomery. Fuck you, Karina Montgomery. Kurt Russell is a national fucking treasure. Are we really supposed to empathize with the empathy-proof Kurt Russell? I was actually hoping that his character's wife had run away with the trucker.
I mean,
A lot of
maybe
these
valid.
are anti-Kurt Russell. It should, yeah, it looks like it'll be at least fun to watch.
Yeah. I think I'm going to like it in the same way I like Lifetime movies of the week or those cute little Hallmark murder mystery movies.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to blow me away. I don't think I'm going to be like, wow.
And now,
I didn't know if you were going to be on. Oh no.
I just made it. I just made it.
Oh, I'm going to have to do it by myself.
No. I had to run an errand, unfortunately, because I'm cat sitting, and I managed to remember everything else I needed.
Yeah, I can see the
except for a
pussy behind you.
toothbrush. That's right. I got 3 pussies with me. 2 of the cats are hiding. This is the only cat that'll show up. It's amazing. But yeah, no, I literally ran home from the little.
Oh, you should have
mall
said something. I
here.
would have just pushed it back.
Oh no worries. I was like, I didn't think I would take that long, but I went to Dollarama because I was like, I don't want to pay like $4 for a toothbrush. It's stupid. So I went to Dollarama to buy a toothbrush, and
For $3.
no, this one was like $1.25. Yeah,
Everything there seems to have gotten a lot more expensive.
Oh, there's a lot of like more expensive stuff, 100%. But this toothbrush was only $1.25. So I was like, great. And then I bought like some toothpaste for like $2.25 as opposed to the $5 it is at Shoppers. So I was like, cool. And then I bought some other stuff. And then I was like running home and I was like, I need a coffee. So I got that.
To the dollar store. I always end up and it's just such shit there. But I end up spending.
I always buy like a bag full of stuff.
Yeah.
I use it. I mean, I know it's shit quality.
Yeah.
But I use it.
My wife, sometimes we do bingo for the kids.
And
we'll go to the dollar store and buy some crappy prizes or whatever. I told her,
Yeah.
go buy 5 or 6 things for a bingo. She came back. I'm not making this up, just over $300. I'm like, what the fuck did you buy? Give me my card back. No. She used her own card.
Wait, but
She regretted it afterwards.
okay, because I was like,
it's not.
I think I'm spending a lot, and then like I walk out of there with like $40 worth of stuff.
I'm mad if I walk out with more than $20. If I spend like 30, 40, $50, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, but I bought some of those like AC adapters for USB cables.
Yeah,
and things like I bought the
don't
kind of
just
more
get
expensive
that.
stuff. Yeah, I was like,
You
oh, I
always
need
end up
that
getting,
because
oh, look at candy.
well, because at my house I have power bars that have the USB plugins. This house does not have it. So I'm like, God damn it, I should have. And I only brought one little plug with the USB, and I'm like, I plug everything in by USB. So, anyways, this is my saga. But I made it.
I'm on a lot of medication. Last week, I think it's been 2 weeks now. I've been coughing a lot during and we were like, oh, it's probably dry down here. It's strep throat.
Oh my God.
The 5-year-old from kindergarten class. Everyone sends their kids to, like, we had the kindergarten teacher said, yeah, we have to sometimes send kids back because they're throwing up in class. And I'm what the fuck? And then I'm like, I'm getting mad at the parents. And then I'm like, not every parent gets to work from home. Not every parent. If you've got 2 parents that are working, it's hard. But still, I mean, come on.
And I get that. And I get that it's hard. But you got to have an emergency plan.
Yeah.
Because don't send your kid to school sick, because then you don't know who your kid's going to make sick and who they're going to make sick.
Exactly. And I don't know who over the last week and a half I've been making sick. Because I thought, okay, here's a story. The last time I had strep throat that I'm aware of, this didn't feel like strep throat to me.
Yeah.
And and now everyone's got it. There's only one kid left that doesn't have it. She thinks she's not gonna get.
Her
She's
time
gonna
will
get
come.
it. Yeah, it's
Her
coming.
time will come.
But the last time I had strep throat, I was in high school,
Mhm.
and my girlfriend at the time had strep throat, and I'm like, I'm gonna make out. Let's make out. She's like, no, I have strep throat. And I don't give a fuck. She's like, oh, that's so hot. I'm like, And then 4 days later, it hurts to swallow water. I'm having trouble breathing. I'm like, that fucking bitch. I hope she dies. And it never dawned on me that strep throat. It was
Could
always
be serious?
horrifying. Well, no, I knew it could be serious. That's why this time it never dawned on me that was strep throat.
Yeah.
It felt like a cold. I was coughing and my throat was irritated, and it was the 5-year-old, that little shithead. Just coughing. And as we're finding this out and come home and we're talking, and you look in the living room and she's got the remote in her mouth. And she just turns and looks at you with the remote fucking. Well, I wonder how everyone got strep throat. Or she'll be talking to you like da da da.
Yep.
Oh,
She's my favorite.
my favorite too. I don't even hide it.
Oh God.
All right.
I mean, it's kind of hard to not have her be your favorite. She's
It's
entertaining.
hard with the youngest. So hard.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm the youngest. Everybody loves me.
Yeah. I mean, it's so hard. Everyone else should know better. All right, let's start.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Yay! It's going to switch the background to breakdown. All right. Initial thoughts from Anna.
This was terrible. Like, not, I hate it with a fiery passion terrible, but oh, why did they even bother making it terrible?
Yeah, my initial thoughts, I like this movie a lot more after I was done watching it. Like, it was almost stressful watching like an everyday man going through something like this when you're used to action heroes. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
like anyone that knows me knows I'm a man's man.
he says as he giggles.
But this was like kind of a realistic. I don't know. I when I was watching it, I don't know if I was expecting or wanting they messed
Yeah.
with the wrong guy. And this was not it at all.
No, it wasn't. But that wasn't even my problem with it. Like, other than him looking in medicine cabinets for ways to save himself and weapons. It was just very boring. I did not care about the wife. We did not get enough of her personality to become invested. They look like they don't even really like each other.
An hour
once you-
33, you think you could have just an extra 10 minutes of backstory.
Give me an extra 10 minutes of backstory, an extra
Not of the
10
bad
minutes.
guys. That was
No,
fine.
no, of the couple.
Of the couple.
Like, I wanted Kurt Russell and his wife to have conversations, be lovey-dovey, be super cute, and then have her kidnapped.
Yeah.
Because if like, I was just like, she bought junk food.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't
As
care.
as a plot point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it came back and I was like, good for you. But also that dialogue was clunky when they were talking about the junk food. I was like, really, guys?
Yeah.
You forced that in there, didn't you? It's fine.
And for the time period, yeah, we'll get into it.
Hmm.
All right, so let's go through breakdown 1997. Okay. Married couple Jeff and Amy Taylor, Kurt Russell and Kathleen Quinlan, are driving across the country from Boston to California. While driving through somewhere in rural New Mexico, they almost collide with another truck on the road. At first, I was like, it's totally Jeff's fault.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It wasn't until later I realized they were waiting for a truck to
Well,
come along. Yeah.
I think it's also the way that it happened because the truck slowly drives into the highway.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like it just kind of turned in real quick. So
Yeah.
I'm like, he's
And-
just very leisurely rolling in.
And then Kurt Russell made it like was just losing his mind over the truck when it was really he wasn't even looking at the,
He
road.
wasn't looking at the road. He was just like, can you I mean, I took my eyes off the road for a second there and I was like, sir, you literally had your head turned and was looking for the thermos of coffee.
Yeah. Okay. Jeff is later confronted by its driver, a hostile redneck cowboy named Earl,
Mhm.
MC Gainey, at a gas station. Though the near collision was the other driver's fault, he still insults Jeff for being ignorant. Jeff waits until Amy comes back and they leave. Earl knows everything about Jeff's Jeep Grand Cherokee, and later we find out why.
Mhm.
A short time later, their car breaks down in the middle of the desert. Amy accepts a ride with a friendly passing trucker named Red Bar, JT Walsh, to a small diner about 5 miles down the road to call for help while Jeff stays with the car. Also, during this part, we find out that Jeff and Amy are in financial trouble. The whole
Mhm.
donut thing for those listening and have not seen the movie, Amy buys a bunch of junk food to snack on. One of those is a pack of mini donuts, which is having a contest. And if you win, you can choose $90,000 or 90,000 donuts. They make a couple jokes saying 90,000 can clear a lot of their problems. And what would you do with 90,000 donuts? And he says something like, sell them for 25 cents or 30 cents
It's I think
to pay
30
off
cents,
the
donut
Jeep.
to pay off
Yeah,
the Jeep.
to
Yeah.
pay off the Jeep.
It's like, why'd you get such an expensive car?
Yeah. Also, can we talk about how convincing Red was? Like, as
Yeah.
the unsuspecting guy, like he didn't insist anything. He didn't over explain or make it sound imperative. He was like, if you want
Yeah.
to ride, you do. If you don't, you don't.
No, I thought that was great. And I was like obviously knowing the premise of the movie, I'm like, I know you're in on this somehow, but you're non-threatening. But that is also a problem because he stays non-threatening even when he's supposed to be threatening. And that was a big part of the problem for this like entire movie. But I digress. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, but he didn't seem very threatening. And unfortunately, like
Mm-mm.
my wife would have turned to ask me if I think we should. And I would have already been in the truck singing, singing the Convoy song, asking if
Oh.
I can pull the horn. Convoy. Yeah, if me and my family are put in any thriller movie type situation or horror movies, they're fucked. Like I am gonna get them killed so fast.
See, I think I'd be the one to survive.
You think
I'm
so?
convinced. Oh yeah, 100%. Because I don't trust nobody. I never go looking at sounds. I'm the first one to grab a weapon. I'm like, why are you doing that? That's dangerous. I'd survive.
Yeah, my wife's like that. If there's a noise in the house,
Yeah.
she's like, "What was that?" And I'll be like, nothing, the door." She's down looking through stuff. I'm like, leave me alone.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Sorry, I shouldn't tell this story, but I will. When I was living with my friend, she had for some reason one of those rain sticks. So
Mhm.
like it had the beads inside, and every time you like shift it, it sounds like rain falling on a tin roof. It's beautiful. We put it by the front door, and we said that was our home alarm system.
Oh, that's a
And
horrible
also
alarm
our
system.
defense system. We're like, yeah, as soon as somebody breaks in, we'll pick it up and make them listen to the rain.
And you didn't put it together that you'd have to go to the door to get it?
Oh, I would be the one going to the door because she is a little bit afraid of everything, and I would probably be the one to like fight someone off because I'm violent, but whatever, it's fine. I'm sorry.
And Red looked concerned or at least confused at the truck that stopped up the road. For the listeners, the
Mhm.
guy in the truck that almost Earl, who yelled at Jeff at the gas station because he almost hit the truck in his fancy Jeep Cherokee, they passed Jeff and Amy when they stalled and then slowed down up the road and turned around as if they were coming back. Obviously, it was to scare Jeff and Amy and persuade them to both get in the truck with Red. But they decide Amy will take the ride and Jeff will stay with the Jeep.
Mhm.
Jeff discovers disconnected wires to be the problem with the car and drives to the diner, but no one there has seen his wife. Can we also say that what a shithole that place was?
Can I tell you the only time I was if I was in this movie, the only time I would be concerned for my safety is at that diner. Not only is it dirty and gross, but the guy behind the counter, I'm like, you have some serious like sex predator vibes.
Yeah, the bartender slash waitress
Yes.
slash chef slash owner. Yeah, didn't look like he showered in a month.
The diner literally has the stove, and it's just like a regular like at-home stove right behind him. I'm like, how?
Yeah, it's
This is not
practically a food
sanitary.
truck.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not saying I wouldn't eat there, but there'd be a lot of off the cuff and unsavory comments coming from under my breath.
I would not be eating there.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
It's so gross.
While driving to the nearest police station, Jeff spots Red trucks and runs him off the road. The trucker swears that he has never seen Jeff or his wife before. This was a cool scene with Red, the actor JT Walsh, who plays Red. He was you by then, even if you haven't seen the movie, you know this guy was going. Sorry, I just started taking medicine last night. Yeah, he he was becoming you could tell he was becoming kind of a dangerous. He was a bad guy.
Well, at that point, it's all the dialogue that tells you, like, because you're like, what do you mean you've never seen him before? Well,
Yeah.
you know you've seen him before. And he plays it off really well.
Yeah, he does. Jeff hails a passing sheriff, but a brief search of Barr's truck in a truck is fruitless, for Amy's nowhere to be found. Jeff tries to tell the sheriff, played by Rex Lynn, that the trucker is lying about not remembering him or Amy, but the sheriff tells Jeff that he should drive to his station about 20 miles down the road and file a missing persons report. And I'm so used to these movies being, they mess with the wrong guy. Like, it was almost anxiety creating watching like a normal dude handle, like not knowing what to, like, this guy's lying and the police is actually doing what he's supposed to do. He's like, listen, nut bar, there's nothing in the truck. The guy says he hasn't met you. Like, he's coming off as the crazy one, but that's how someone would react.
Yeah.
And the cop did say, I believe your wife is missing, but she isn't in the truck.
Yeah. No, he was like, I believe that your wife is missing, but she's not here. I can't do anything else here. Like, you need to go and report her missing. And then they get to the police station, and I'm like, that board is concerning.
Yeah. Okay. Jeff drives to a local police station where he talks with Deputy played by Kim Robillard. I don't know who the character's name is, about his wife's disappearance. The deputy advises Jeff to go back to the diner and wait for his wife. Yeah, the bulletin board. Holy shit. For listeners,
I'm like, how?
Go ahead.
It's literally just layered with missing person reports and pictures and stuff. And I'm sitting there going, this would not instill me with confidence. Not even a little bit.
I'd be like,
guess
sir, I should just give up now. Like, looks like you guys aren't found ratio.
You're just like, people go missing.
Ratio. Yeah. It's a way of life here.
Yeah.
And for listeners that are younger, like computers or more specifically technology wasn't as prevalent as it is today back in 1997. If you went missing, if you were lucky, you'd make the 6 o'clock news.
Or a
Then your
milk
picture
carton.
would end up on a board. Yeah, yeah. If you were a kid, you would find your picture on a milk carton. You could be
Um,
kidnapped eating your favorite cereal and see yourself on the milk carton. Like, hey, that's me.
um, it's funny though, because if you think about it, like at this point, because this was made in 1997, you didn't like police officers didn't have access, like local officers didn't have access to the databases that they do now.
No.
So they'd have to put in a request to someone
Yeah.
for them to search their database because there wasn't a network that you could access. Like, isn't that fucking nuts?
Yeah. When people went missing, like you said, milk carton
Yeah.
or on a bulletin board at a police station, sometimes a post office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe a
And they would
laundromat.
send a fax.
Yeah.
Like they would send a fax of the like missing poster and be like, here you go. Just so you know.
Yeah. And
Somebody
when you're
went
doing
missing
your
3 towns
laundry,
over.
you look over
Yep.
at people, you're like, oh, Karen's missing. Look at that. Good. I hate Karen.
Everybody hates Karen.
Jeff does so going back to the diner. He cannot get any cooperation or help from the diner owner or any of the patrons. When Jeff insists on looking at the receipts, which was quite clever, in the last few hours, the diner owner threatens him with the rifle, forcing Jeff to leave. Outside the diner, Jeff asks all persons coming and leaving if they have seen his wife, but none of them respond that they have. Jeff ends up meeting Billy, Jack Noseworthy, a local simpleton and mechanic. I think he was washing a car.
It's very possible.
Who says that he saw his wife arrive with Red and leave in another truck driven by a cowboy. I'm almost positive the first time I saw this movie, I thought this really was a town simpleton because I didn't see it in theater. I don't remember back in 97 seeing, I think I just grabbed it off the Blockbuster shelf.
Yeah.
But here you have a great little twist. But when we watched the trailer last week, it was given away that that wasn't a simpleton.
Yeah. But still he plays it well.
Yeah,
You're like, oh.
he is an actor.
Yeah, but I mean,
But yeah, he
look,
plays it well for the character to believe him. Yes.
don't get me wrong. Okay, but there are a lot of people who make a lot of money as actors who are not very good.
Yeah, I
Jennifer
will
Lopez, I'm
say
looking at you.
the acting was not really the problem of this movie. The actors
No.
were great. So I'm just trying to keep some not coughing.
It's okay, I forgive you.
Billy then tells Jeff where they have taken her, but tells him not to go to the police because they may be involved.
Mm-hmm.
If you just for those who are listening, if you're looking to abduct a person or a couple for ransom or what have you, I'm not suggesting or advocating that, but this movie is a great blueprint.
Honestly, it's pretty good, but I think we can all, especially in the advent of credit, you can't trust that just because someone's driving a fancy car that they have money. Or just
No.
because they're wearing khakis and a polo shirt means they have money.
Yeah, no. Which they find out.
Yeah, no shit.
Following the directions that Billy gave him, Jeff drives down a rural back road, running into a gate at a construction site. While he tries to figure out his next move, he's ambushed by Earl. After a short chase, Jeff escapes by driving his Jeep into a river. He exits the sinking car and floats down the river, later circling back around to where his attackers are salvaging it from the water, and then he is found and knocked out by Billy. See, I would have ruined this scene because I would have added in a one-liner like, "Who's the dummy now?" and have him whack him with... and you would have hated this movie even more.
So much more. So much more.
And that whole scene, it wasn't bad. Like, there was no action hero thing about it. Just an average guy driving his truck into the river and sinking.
See, but
this is what I was saying. And I'm like, well, the action guy there would be a lot more cooler stuff.
Well, it's not
This was
even-
too realistic.
it's not even the action guy. You see him, it looks like he's on a cliff. And then all of a sudden he starts driving, and you're like, oh, you're a fucking moron. But then there's just a hill that he drives down, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, into the water. Yeah,
that was anticlimactic. Like, toss him off the cliff.
yeah. It wasn't as bad as they made it first. Look.
Yeah, the first look, I was like, "Ooh, cliff," and then he starts driving, and oh my god, that's gonna be dangerous. And then he just casually drives down to the waterfront.
And
I'm
that's
like,
what I mean. If this was an action movie, that would have been a 5-10 minute
okay, but to be
bouncing up and
like,
down. And
I'm about to blow your mind right now. Ready? Ready? This is an action movie.
it is.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought this was a drama.
Nope. It's an action movie. There's supposed to be action and suspense and thrills, and you're supposed to be on the edge of your seat. I was just kind of like,
Yeah, no,
okay.
it wasn't that. Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
was not that type of movie. Earl shoots at him a few times. He can't kill him because he needs him alive.
Correct.
So he's knocked out. Jeff awakes in the trunk of a car. Billy, who drops his simpleton routine, opens it and asks how much money Jeff has, which is demand in exchange for his wife, who is being held hostage. For those listening, there was he actually says there's an exact amount that your wife said. You better give me, I think it's Earl that actually says this. You better
Yeah.
give me the exact amount that she said. And he's confused. For those listening, this is where that donut seed comes into play, as Billy and Earl are telling Jeff he better say the exact amount. And then they say, well, he might not be the donut king. And Jeff connects the dots saying the 90,000. Remember the $90,000 or the 90,000 donuts from earlier.
I'll give them that. That was clever.
Yeah. Sort of. Yeah. Not
Ish.
over. Yeah. Yeah.
Not super like clever and like interesting, but it was
But yeah, it was. Yeah.
better
It
than
was,
nothing.
it was smart on her. It made it smart on
Yes.
her part. Yeah. He
Now
almost
we
blew
find
it.
out she's smart. Yeah, he totally almost blew it. But we found out she was smart, what, like an hour into the movie? It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
The two rednecks, Billy and Earl, remove Jeff from the trunk and bring him to the ringleaders. Bring them to the ringleader, and guess what? It's Red, the truck driver.
Shocking.
They did kind of make it like it was a big reveal.
Yeah.
So kind of dumb, but anyways, truck driver Red demands that Jeff withdraw a large sum of cash, 90,000, from a local bank in the nearby small town of Bracketon in exchange for Amy. Red gravely warns him that they'll be watching him closely if Jeff doesn't comply fully. He promises to kill and mutilate Amy. And we talked about this last week, how JT Walsh, the guy who plays Red, gave the script back to the director with more than half his dialogue crossed out. He felt the less you know about this character makes him more menacing. He just wants the money, and any more information that we get weakens that character. And he was totally right. He just comes across as just a piece of shit.
True. I
Like,
will give you that. He is a piece of shit.
yeah, and there's no backstory. There's no
redemption arc for him.
cancer
Yeah, no.
has to be paid for, or children
It's
dying.
it's not like he's Robin Hooding the shit.
No, there's no redeeming bit
Yeah.
about him. Jeff heads into the local bank to withdraw the money, knowing he has only a fraction of the assumed amount. I think he only had like $5,000.
Yeah.
Jeff attempts to alert the bank manager to his plight. However, paranoid that Red's group is keeping an eye on him, when a stranger enters the bank and begins watching him, Jeff abandons the idea. After thinking about sneaking out a back window in the men's room, Jeff instead returns to the lobby of the bank. This is where he went through the medicine
He went through
cabinet.
the medicine cabinet looking for any like unscrewed
For a
bottom of the
solution.
the plunger. So, and then he's trying to put it up his like sleeve, and I was like, "Sir,
Yeah.
do you not know to put that in the back of your pants so that the stick is up your back?"
I thought about to say up his ass.
No, not up his ass. That's
That's a
too
good
far.
hiding spot.
He's not going into prison. He doesn't need to hide it that well. He just needs to hide it well enough. So if he needs to hit someone upside the head, he can go behind his back and get it. But he takes the letter opener when he gets back to the desk
Yes.
after he has his little bathroom freak out. So I gave him points for that.
Yes. Yeah. Jeff instead returns to the lobby bank. While the bank manager is busy with the transaction, Jeff steals marked money ribbons and a letter opener knife from the manager's desk. He uses the money ribbons to pack stacks of dollar bills between $200 and $100 bills. That was a smart move.
That was very smart.
Like, he's watched a few movies.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he did not think of that on his own. Because every single thing he's done so far in this movie has just been a lot of, I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah, it's
Get
almost like he
myself into more trouble.
succeeds by mistake.
Of course.
Like,
That actually
Amy
makes
is
sense.
very lucky. Like,
Yeah.
God protects the dumb type.
I
lucky.
would not trust him to save me. If I
And I
was in
think
trouble.
that's what they were kind of going for. After leaving the bank with money, Jeff is contacted by Red from a payphone to leave the town by walking, where Earl picks him up. The giant cell phones and with the pull-out antenna and
Love them.
the abundant payphones were
Yes.
really the only thing that took me out of the movie year-wise. Like,
Yeah.
every time I saw a payphone, every time you saw the big old cell phones with the big antennas come out, yeah, that was
That was fantastic when he pulls it out. Also, can we talk about when I'm going to point this out because this is a cell phone era in 1997. It was very new. You couldn't always get reception in every spot. It's not the same kind of coverage that you get today. So when he's trying to call his friend Steve, okay, who has a friend at the FBI, why does he not pull over the car while he has reception for like a hot minute and just be
yeah,
like,
he wasn't
"Steve,"
being chased or anything.
he wasn't being chased. He was just driving real fast. So I was like, why would you not stop when you have reception for a minute? I'm not telling you to like get out of the car and go sit down. I'm just saying, stop, talk to Steve, get the FBI, then keep driving to the place that you don't know where you're going.
Yeah, that was yeah, I know you're in a rush to get your wife, but maybe contacting your FBI
Still doesn't-
contact.
Yeah, right. Call the FBI, then keep going. Even though he doesn't know, he just knows he's going to the river.
Yeah.
That's it.
While gloating, okay, so Earl picks him up while gloating about how easy Jeff and his wife were to trick and implying that they intend to kill them anyway. Earl discovers that Jeff has stacked the bundles using the money ribbon he took from the bank manager's desk. Jeff then stabs Earl with the letter opener that he stole and used to cut through the duct tape he was bound with, then forcing him from the driver's seat and forcing Earl from the driver's seat and duct taping his hands to his leg.
Mhm.
His neck to the headrest. To be fair, for anyone listening that has not seen this movie or have not seen this movie for a long time, that was a little more of a battle, a little more of a scuffle with those two guys.
Yeah.
That you could really tell were not pros, and it was a desperate fight for life. Jeff tortures Earl for a few minutes using the truck's brakes to choke him into revealing where they took Amy. Just then, the same sheriff from the beginning of the film, seeing the truck being driven erratically,
Mhm.
attempts to arrest both Earl and Jeff. Jeff surrenders when ordered to throw away Earl's pistol. Earl frees himself and shoots the sheriff with a pistol concealed in his boot. Of course. Just as Earl is about to shoot Jeff, the wounded sheriff shoots and kills Earl. Jeff uses the sheriff's radio to call for an ambulance and leaves behind the wounded sheriff to find his wife.
See, that was probably the most realistic moment. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, to stop, make sure that an ambulance is on the way for this very nice sheriff who killed the guy who was, trying to kidnap and kill you and steal your money. And then you go. I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I still feel your desperation, but you don't look like a moron.
Although initially unsuccessful at finding Billy or his wife at the truck stop, Earl mentioned Jeff spots Red, who is preoccupied with a telephone call to an accomplice at a telephone booth. Seeing two state troopers searching for a suspect in the shooting of the sheriff, Jeff manages to jump onto Red's moving truck as it pulls out of the truck stop. This is the part of the film where my wife could kiss her ass goodbye. Actually, if we're being honest, I'd still be at the police station looking at my watch going, like, is this going to be much longer? I would have already agreed, started a Tinder account, move on.
Tinder.
Um,
So you're looking for the next great love of your life.
Yeah. Starting in the spare tire rack on the trailer that's underneath the truck,
Yep.
he inches his way to the tractor and is able to hide in the spoiler on top of the cab. Now, this is what I was referring to earlier. This whole scene did not look like an action hero stunt, and it wasn't supposed to, because an action hero would have shimmied across the bottom, flipped over to the side of the truck, seen that the driver might see him, so let go
Yeah.
of the truck, fly down the side of it, grab the back, flip over to the back of the truck, and then do a double flip onto the top.
Well, I wasn't expecting action, like superhero kind of moves. Like
No,
I
this was
wasn't
a
expecting.
slow,
Yeah.
realistic.
And I
Which,
don't mind realistic in the action part.
yeah,
Just want to care about the people. I didn't give a fuck about any of them. None of them. When he's almost falling off the truck, I don't care. I'm like, you
Yeah.
gonna get run over now? Mm.
and that's where they could have took that little 10-15 minutes and just for a little bit more story with them.
Yeah.
Because he looked terrified, and you knew
Mhm.
the only thing that was keeping him going was the love for his wife. A love, might I add, I do not have. Nor does 95% of the men on this planet. And if they say otherwise, they are lying. They would be just like me, sitting at a bar, waiting for their Tinder date to show up, hoping that their wife being abducted story was enough to maybe get some sympathy sex.
Probably.
I ain't jumping on no.
I mean, as long as you don't provide a timeline. Like
Yeah,
if
I'm
you
not
don't
talking
say,
about like a
you know,
week
like
from
my
now.
yeah. No, I'm just saying if you wait long enough, it would probably get you laid.
Yeah.
However, I mean, if you spend the afternoon at the police station and then go meet your Tinder date and you're like, so earlier today, let me tell you a funny story.
Yeah.
You're not getting laid. Maybe a blowjob,
Yeah,
not getting
because
laid.
like, yeah. Yeah, she was like, she might still be alive. She
Yeah.
might be. After driving all night, Red arrives at his family farm where he greets his wife and young son, whom they address as Warren. Red, the Red character's real name is Warren, I guess. I don't know why the plot people thought this was imperative. Jeff hides in their barn and watches as Red, Billy, and a fourth accomplice, a tow truck driver named Al. For everyone listening, the fourth accomplice, Al, was the actual driver of the truck that almost hit the Jeep
Mhm.
Cherokee. Earl was in the passenger seat. You see Al sitting in the truck while Earl confronts Jeff at the beginning of the movie. They take Amy from a compartment underneath the moving van, and they've also stashed Jeff's Jeep. I didn't remember that. Did they have his Jeep?
Yeah, they pulled it from the river. And it
I
was
remember
going
them
up
pulling
into,
for the river, but I don't remember them seeing them.
because the hook and the cable was
Oh,
attached
yeah,
to a
yeah,
truck
yeah.
that had the ramps on it.
Yeah,
Because I remember it started with that, and I was like, "The fuck are they doing?" And then I saw the Jeep, and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense."
that's
But
right.
also, can we talk about the set design in this particular scene? Because where um, Jeff is hiding, Jeff is his name, right?
Yeah.
Kurt Russell.
Up on top
Um,
of the barn, inside
yeah,
the barn, but the top.
inside the barn in the loft area,
Yeah.
and that's where they store all the stuff that they have stolen from these people.
Yeah.
And you see, especially from at this point where he's hiding, he's in front of boxes of cameras.
Yeah.
Like there's at least 2 full boxes of cameras, film cameras, not even digital, film cameras. So you're
Yeah.
like, how long have these people been doing this?
Oh, yeah. It looks like
Because
they've been doing it
there's
for
so
a
many
minute.
cameras.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah. And then I'm like, that entire bulletin board at the police station, it
Yeah,
was
it was
them.
all them.
It was all them.
Every single one of them.
100%.
They take Amy from a compartment underneath a moving van that they've also stashed Jeff's Jeep. Okay, they lock her in a freezer in the basement under the barn to suffocate and return to the house. Jeff also discovers that Red and his accomplice have apparently been preying upon unsuspecting travelers and truckers for some time now by stealing their money, luggage, and cargo and killing them afterward. Yeah, kind of, and you're right. That kind of makes them more creepier because there were baby seats and kids' toys up there.
Yeah.
So they were killing dudes, families, kids.
They were killing entire families. They were
Yeah.
just like wiping
Yeah.
people out.
And again, with no backstory, no reason, they just made they seemed more menacing than they actually were. Or no, not because really they were
The-
just misunderstood.
They're
No,
not menacing or misunderstood. They're literally just
pieces of shit.
psychopaths.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it. They're
exactly.
psychopaths. They're all like, "Oh,
Um,
look, another like group of people that we can totally kill. Fantastic."
yeah, and this is where you kind of wish that the Kurt Russell character was like a John McClane or a John Rambo or a John Wick. How the fuck are they all named John? I just realized. Who's the main guy in Predator? Dutch. Might be John Dutch.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Strap. Side
That
note,
strap.
just you were coughing there. We were at the Costco and my wife had strep throat too, and she was getting the cough like I had, and she was doing that in the Costco. And a couple people were like kind of looking like, ugh. So she did a real loud one. So I had the 5-year-old in the car. I didn't scream, but I yelled at the top of my lungs, disease, and pointed at my wife and ran down the aisle.
Such a
She
dick.
was really mad. It was awesome.
I'm impressed you're still married. Just
Me
saying.
too. A lot of people are. Unsuccessful at prying the lock open on the trap door, Jeff finds a pistol in the moving van and enters the house and demands the basement keys from Red. This is the first time where the movie I actually kind of cared what happened with like the actual what was going on with the story. It was it was intense. It was good. I like this scene.
This was actually a good scene. I'm mad it came so late in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, where was this feeling before?
Yeah, like the whole movie wasn't even like
Yeah.
really close to this.
No.
But yeah. And this was the first time he kind of was a little more I don't want to say not manly, but more in control of the situation.
He was definitely more assertive and more, I don't want to say aggressive because he's not even really that aggressive,
No.
but he's definitely taking a stand.
Yeah. And it's not his fault. His name isn't John. If it was John, these guys would have been fucked.
Whole different movie.
Yeah.
Whole different movie.
But this is short-lived because Red Son Deke appears with a rifle and threatens Jeff, but accidentally shoots Al in the arm after Jeff knocks a gun from his hands. However, Billy flees by jumping out a window while Jeff forces Red to return to the barn. Red's wife, Arlene, opens the barn basement and frees Amy from the freezer, surprised at seeing the hidden bunker, and she's surprised at seeing the hidden bunker and Amy locked in the freezer. Yeah, that might come as a shock.
Well,
if you weren't in on it. Might be grounds for some therapy.
I think Red's job as a trucker has allowed him to have a little more leeway, because I was like, initially my first thought was, how have you not figured, like, do you just not go in the barn?
Yeah.
Do you not look around ever?
Yeah.
Because it's not like they're hiding all the shit that they've stolen from people. It's just sitting in boxes.
It's just up in the
It's just up in the hayloft. I'm like,
just bodies in the freezer are the only thing that's hidden. That's it. Jeff locks everyone in the basement. Then he and Amy find a pickup truck at a nearby abandoned trailer home. It's not abandoned. Looks pretty lived in.
no, I think it's Billy's.
Yeah, they managed to drive. You think? Yeah, it might be Billy's. They managed to drive off just as Billy manages to free everyone, and then just escaping as the freed Red drives through the trailer home with his tractor trailer. This was an awesome
Yes.
shot. This shows you Red wasn't sticking around to explain anything to his wife.
No. He was all like, sorry, honey, I have to go kill these people.
Yeah,
I'll
there's
be
a
right
problem.
Back. We'll talk.
Yeah, there's a problem. Red's gonna solve it, and then we'll talk. It wasn't even a well thought out plan. Like, if that wasn't Billy's home, that was someone's home.
Yeah.
Like, that person could have been fishing, just come over the hill and being like, "What the fuck? You done drove your truck through my home?" And not well thought out at all. As dawn begins to break. Oh yeah, I guess because it was pretty early in the morning. It was dark when it first started.
Yeah.
That's right. A climactic and harrowing car chase begins as Billy, Al, and Red pursue Jeff and Amy on the highway. The former in cars and the latter in his truck. During the pursuit, Billy is killed when his car explodes after Jeff forces it off the road. Again, the whole car chase was kind of a nice payoff to kind of a slow movie. Watching Kurt Russell pussyfoot around doing everything half-assed. The trailer from Red's truck detaches, causing Al to violently crash into it, apparently killing him also. That's the plot. For a second, I thought Red was doing it on purpose, but then you could see on his face that he didn't mean to do that.
No.
Undeterred, Red attempts to force Jeff and Amy's vehicle off a bridge, trapping Amy's leg under the dashboard. Jeff rushes out of the vehicle and into Red's big rig, where a struggle over the steering wheel forces Red's truck over the edge, leaving it dangling on a steel bridge. Again, that overwhelming power of love. Jeff, did all of this for his love.
For the love of Amy, who we know nothing about and don't care about. But I'm glad Jeff does.
Yeah. No, it was a cool scene. And the fact you could tell that these characters, this was not a common occurrence. In some of the movies, or most movies, it's like this happens every week to them.
True.
Jeff fights Red on a suspended big rig while Jeff hangs from the truck. Red tries to whip him off with a chain, but Jeff grabs it and Red loses his balance, falls off the truck to the rocks below. Yeah, actually, Red wrapped it around his hand to get a better grip.
Yeah.
Jeff he catches it.
He catches it, and then there's a moment of recognition where he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And then Jeff pulls him down, and I was like, "That was nice."
That was a good scene. Yes,
that
and
was
a couple of those where Red hits him his fingers with that chain that looked like it hurt. But that was a great that was a good scene. And then Jeff frees Amy, and the two look down at the seemingly dead Red, who then starts to move. Amy, clearly shaken and the plot, teeming with rage from her captivity, then pulls the automatic shifter on their pickup truck, which has been holding the Red's truck in place, and it falls and crushes him. Now, I'm not an expert, but after that fall, and if Red was still alive on those rocks, I'm guessing that truck hurling down upon him would have been sweet relief.
100%, because I can guarantee you at least half the bones in his body would
Yeah.
have been broken because he fell on the rocks.
Yeah.
Like not even on the water, on rocks.
The rocks. And he's still moving. If I was her, I would have been like, yo, we're going to walk to town and then we're going to call someone to come and get you and leave him there.
Well,
he ain't going anywhere.
Red ends up moving his head. And I was like, dude, that fall would have totally broken your back. Not a chance. Not a chance in hell would you be able to turn your head. Nuh-uh.
No.
But
What a very
God
cool
bless, it was
visual.
dramatic.
Yeah.
I like that entire thing.
Relieved that their nightmare is over, and the final shot shows Jeff and Amy sitting in the middle of the bridge recovering from the ordeal. All right. So, score.
I'm giving it a 4 because it was awful.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
really didn't like this movie.
Don't get me wrong, it had some moments, but all of those moments happen in like the last 10 minutes of the movie. So I'm like, what the fuck were you doing for the first hour and 20 minutes? Like, where were you? This was not, okay. Because when I was watching it, credits start coming up and it's like Spelling Films. I was like, Spelling Films is an Aaron Spelling? Oh, this should be dramatic. Because Aaron Spelling loves a little bit of melodrama. I love it. Let's do this. And then it just proceeded into one of the most boring movies where I didn't care about anybody. I didn't care about anything. And then finally in the last like 10 minutes, they give us the action movie. And I'm like, I didn't need Jeff to be an action hero. I didn't need him to be a martial arts expert. I didn't need him to be a munitions expert. I didn't need him to be a sniper. I needed him to like take everything by the horns. I needed him to take charge. I didn't need him to flounder through the entire thing and be like, where's Amy? Because that's all he does. He just kind of walks around and asks random people, have you seen my wife? I'm like, sir, you know who the trucker was who took your wife. Follow up on that.
Yeah.
Instead, he's like, I'm just going to keep roaming around and seeing if maybe. And I didn't care about Amy, and I feel bad about that because she's been through an ordeal in this movie. But I'm like, we didn't get enough character development for her in the beginning, and I don't need a lot, but I just need enough to know that she loves Jeff, Jeff loves her, that they are, scared but excited to start their new life in San Diego. And like, I needed something so that when Amy gets taken, I'm invested. What was there's a movie with John Cho, which was fucking phenomenal. I think it's called Missing. And the majority of it is done just through a computer screen. It's so good. So fucking good. Look it up. That they gave me enough that I really, really fucking cared. And he is just a regular guy trying to find, I believe it's his daughter. And it was such a good, when you watch something like that and then you watch this, you're like, you could have done better. So it was awful. It was terrible.
So 4.
4.
Okay, this might sound weird, but I liked it a bit more after
Mhm.
watching it. I think I've been so used to, I don't know, I don't know if I was wanting adrenaline infused action hero, you mess with the wrong guy, that this movie kind of caught me off guard when I sat down and watched it. Like halfway through this movie, I was like, this guy better John Wick the fuck up and start kicking some ass. Yeah, he kills a bunch of guys, sort of, but actually the cop killed Earl. He forced Billy off the road. Red's
Mhm.
shitty driving causes 8-wheeler to jackknife, and he kills Al.
Mhm.
Amy actually kills Red.
Yep.
So as Jeff's lawyer, I could argue Billy
He
was
didn't
just a
kill
piss poor
anybody.
driver
Yeah.
and get him off on everything. But it was a different take, especially from an actual action star and the movies of the 90s. They
Mhm.
were right to cut the dialogue to make these bad guys for the story. It
Yes.
made them more menacing, and it kind of made you cheer for their demise, even if you weren't cheering for Kurt Russell. It was well acted. The dialogue was good. The action where it was good, but I don't know if it was a pacing issue. But it really threw me off. Overall, I give it a 6.
Okay.
Kind of good. Kind of good. I might watch it again. It could be a while from now, could be a few years. I might see it on Netflix or another streamer and say I'll watch it. I wasn't in awe. It was, but I enjoyed it being different. But it wasn't like, it didn't blow my mind. It wasn't like, yeah, that was awesome.
See,
1997 rules. This was kind of like, it was kind of good.
it had potential.
It had everything
I
to be.
love the idea of a regular, just suburban, not an action guy being put in a situation where it's him or nothing to find his wife.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that he doesn't do everything perfectly. He doesn't have a plan. He has to figure it out as he goes. I like that. Some small tweaks. This could have been a good movie. I also like that the bad guys are literally just a bunch of psychos. Like, they don't have any actual good reason.
Give me 1 second.
For sure.
Son of a bitch.
What?
I can't believe I have to do the podcast like this. My cat just got a mouse.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck. And he ran out the door with it. All right.
All right. Not your problem anymore.
Just stay out.
Stay over there. It's fine. But yeah. So I'm like, I feel like the movie that they planned on doing and the movie that they finished with were two very different movies.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I was like, I spent an hour and 20-ish minutes being like, oh, God, this is still going. And then the last like 10, 15 minutes, I was like, okay, like this is the movie I wanted to see. This was it. But yeah,
Now,
I don't blame Kurt Russell.
no, no. And I get maybe at the time it was because during that time there were so many like adrenaline fueled action. I could see people like, oh, this is a different
Yeah.
pace. It's like a breather from all the Rock and Con Air and Speed and all these type of movies.
God, I
So
love
maybe it
Speed.
was like, yeah. See, I like those ones. They're awesome.
Yeah, I love those. And I mean, same thing. Like, yes, you have Keanu Reeves in Speed, who knows what he's doing, and he's crazy. But you also have Sandra Bullock, who's like, what the fuck? And I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I appreciate the characters who get put into these situations and are like, the fuck? But
Yeah.
they handle it.
And Kurt Russell was almost like the Sandra Bullock character, and
Mhm.
we didn't have the Keanu Reeves character.
Yeah. We could have if he had managed to get through to Steve.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he had just stopped the car.
Yeah. So why did you like it initially? Why do you think you liked it initially back then? Because we both remembered we liked it.
I think I must have been in an action movie like obsession at that point. Like maybe that was it. So I was just devouring everything action.
Yeah.
Like I think that was and it wasn't always like classic action movies. Like Speed was a little bit different. Con Air was a little bit different. I'm literally trying to remember all the there's so many
Oh,
from
there's
the
so many
90s.
back. The Die Hards, anything Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Anything Arnold
Sylvester
Schwarzenegger. It was
Stallone.
Steven Seagal was fucking going nuts still at that point.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was in everything.
It was in tons of action movies.
Yeah,
Even
so
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like there were
a
lots.
lot. So I think I was just, and so I liked it. I think I remember liking it because it was just like another action movie. But watching it back now, I'm like, oof, I don't care about Amy. I want to care. I want to care about Amy. I want her. I want to want her back. At
Yeah.
that point, when she disappeared from the screen, I'm like, I don't actually give a fuck if she lives or dies.
Yeah, and because like the reason I liked it was the same reason it was different, and like Speed, Die Hard, Arnold,
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone, and they were kicking so much ass. This wasn't that; it was different.
Mhm.
But that's also probably why it wasn't as popular in my memory. And
Yeah.
actually, I'm going to because we've been talking about it. I'm going to take it down to 5.5
Ooh,
because
a change in
because
score.
I just think I don't think I'll be as excited to watch this again. It'd be now that we're talking about it, it would be a flip of a coin if I was to watch this movie again.
I don't think I'd ever seek it out, but I wouldn't be mad if it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would not be actively watching it. I'd be reading a book while it was on.
Yeah, like in the background type thing.
Yeah, until the action actually starts, and then I'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool. Now's the fun part."
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say 5.5.
Okay.
So if you liked it, then
Yeah,
rent it, buy it, stream it, skip it.
stream it.
Stream it.
Don't
I
pay for
agree.
this.
No.
I did.
Unless you remember, like we remembered liking it. If you remember loving it, I would not buy it. I would spend the $3 to rent it.
Mhm.
But if you remember liking it, like we did, yeah, definitely. If you stream it, if it's on something which I couldn't find, I paid money for this.
I had to pay money for it too, and I'm a little mad about it. I feel like
Glad I
there should
didn't
be a
buy it.
refund policy.
Yeah, if it's really bad, give me half my money back or
Just
something.
I don't even want a full refund. Just give me a little bit back. Like apply a credit to my account so I
Yeah.
can rent something else. But yeah, no, it's stream it, but I wouldn't search for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this would not be one of those where I'm like, I need to watch it.
No. If you've never seen it, I don't even know if I would suggest streaming it. Like it's not your typical thriller action movie, and you might not enjoy yourself.
No. I if you want something to put you to sleep, I mean, watch it.
Hmm.
It's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
I feel bad though. Poor Kurt Russell. I feel bad saying it's boring, but it's boring.
Yeah. See, I liked it more than you did.
Yeah,
But yeah, it'd be a hard one to recommend. Could it be rebooted today?
100%.
They would.
100%.
You'd want it to be more, yeah, more in line with action movies where the character would have to be redone a bit.
I
The
think the
action
character
the action that was in it was good. I did like the
Yeah.
action.
No,
Yeah,
the
it was
action
good.
that was in it was good.
And the actors were good.
The actors were
story
great.
was
The story was I was like, just with a few tweaks, this could be an awesome action movie, and it would make more sense why he's going absolutely nuts. Because at the beginning of the movie, what I'm kind of seeing from this couple is they're kind of blasé about each other. They're not that into each other. So when he starts going nuts, like going crazy looking for his wife, I'm like, I was not getting that vibe from you. I really thought you were going to be one of those, like, I'll stay in town and look for her, but not like, let's drive up into the mountains.
yeah. All right. So that was it for a 4 and a 5.5 for breakdown. Okay. Let me change this.
Dun, dun.
There we go. And we will go on a break.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have to make a phone call. I cannot have mice in my movie theater.
No, you cannot. The health inspector will lose his shit.
And the fact that I pay people to make sure I don't, I'm a little pissed. They should all be
As you
dead.
should be.
I think I'm
As you
handling
should
quite well. Someone that doesn't like rodents, I think I'm doing all right.
I haven't seen you freak out once. It's been impressive. It's
It
so
was a
impressive.
small one.
It was a little,
The last one, like 6 months ago, 4
Yeah.
or 5 months ago, it was bigger.
oh, so you're just getting the babies now.
There should be no goddamn babies. Okay, so let's go on break. Where are you here?
Okay.
Do. Oh, come on.
That's it. You're fucking fired.
Oh yeah, share. Nope.
Can you guys calm the foot down?
Maybe they see a mouse.
No, they're just being little shits. Of course, they get the zoomies now.
The what?
The zoomies. You know where
Oh.
they run around losing their minds? Like they've been sleeping all fucking day in other rooms. But now,
All right, we'll go for a 3-minute intermission. I'm going to go see if this poor little baby mouse needs to be put down and not tortured to death by my psychotic cat.
have fun with that. I'm going to grab some water.
It's intermission time, folks. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. The show starts in 3 minutes. show starts in 2 minutes. The show starts in 1 minute. And now, on with the show.
Oh, how do I get rid of this thing? There we go. I couldn't find it. So I told my wife if she wants to come down and put the mouse out of its misery, but not to bug me if she does.
So she's the one that's got to kill the mouse. You're not even going to do it.
No, I couldn't. I looked over here, over there, and I can't.
Yeah.
The cat took it somewhere.
Nice.
So I do hate rodents. I kind of like, that's not the way I feel bad that that's the way it's going out.
Mm-hmm.
Because cats are not nice. They're so mean.
My cat was sadistic. He used to
They're
catch the
all
mouse and then just like play with it a little bit and then kind of let it go and wait for the mouse to like start to take off and then catch it again. And it was like,
that's what it was doing over here.
Dick.
It dropped it off beside the bar, went around behind the bar. I was trying to talk and not freak out. And I don't know if it moved, but I saw the cat out of the corner of my eye pounce from behind the bar onto this little tiny mouse. It was only a little thing, like it was only a tiny mouse. Like enough that if the cat wasn't here, I probably would have screamed and ran off, and you'd be still here at an hour and 8 minutes
just
going,
kind of talking to myself.
is he coming back? All right, so before we go into the next movie, this is the live show on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for now. Every Wednesday at 9:00. So we didn't get a chance to talk before. How was your week? Did you watch anything? Did you watch any movies, TV shows?
Not really. I've been catching up on stuff, which really annoys me.
Old stuff or new stuff?
New stuff. Because I wait until there's like 5 or 6 episodes to watch and then I just binge it straight through. I was going to watch Air today, but I ran out of time. I'm very excited to watch that because we had a great conversation about it over the weekend with Michael Jordan and like what Nike did with bringing them up and like the deal that he got and that he's still making stupid amounts of money on his Air Jordans.
Yes.
Stupid amounts. And I'm like, God, that was smart. And that was his mother's doing. So I was like, damn. Yeah, I wanted to see Air. I haven't really watched very many. Didn't get a chance over the weekend. I was doing a lot of like grown-up stuff.
Any TV shows that you were watching or anything? Anything newish? or older. I'm like you. I don't. It has to be really good for me to watch one a week.
Yeah.
I like, and I love the shows most of the shows I've been watching, but I like to, because I love watching 2 or 3 a night for the
Yeah.
for the 4 or 5 days in a row to watch them all. It's my
I'm excited. In about a month, the second season of The Bear starts.
Oh, I love The Bear. What a great show that turned out to be.
I
I only
started
watched it because
catching-
of the actor, the guy
Mm.
starring in it. I love him. He's fantastic. And
Well,
but
I
the
remember
whole
when the
cast,
oh,
everything
the
was
cast is fucking
fantastic.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
When I saw the first season was coming out, I didn't get around to watching it. And then I started catching clips of it on TikTok. And then I was like, oh shit, right, The Bear. I still haven't seen the first season. So I went back, I watched the first season, and I was like, this show is so fucking good.
Yeah, really, really good.
And thankfully, I don't have to wait that long for the second season. I was like, hallelujah, praise Jesus. But usually during the regular TV season, I tend to watch a lot of reality TV
Hmm.
because it's entertaining to me. I will watch some shows, but nothing that's too emotionally taxing.
Yeah.
I save that for when I have like 6 hours or 7 hours in a row that I could do it on like a Saturday where I'm just like, okay, let's power through this. Sometimes I do like a rewatch of like Band of Brothers because I'm like, I feel like crying once an hour for 6 hours. Let's
Such
do
a
this.
good show.
So fucking good. Although I do have one pet peeve about it. Just one. And my one pet peeve is that they never show any Canadians.
No.
There's one of the battles that takes place for an entire episode where literally there were Canadians like 50 feet to their left.
They mentioned them though.
Yeah, there's like one mention from,
Yeah.
but I don't even think it's an American that mentions it. I think it's a French guy who's like, the Canadians are there. We don't actually see. I just want one Canadian. That's it. But other than that, it's one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life, and I
Did
love
you
it.
watch The Pacific?
I did not watch The Pacific.
It's the same Spielberg and Tom Hanks. It's not as great, but it is good. Really good.
Yeah, I
Same idea, same thing, but they're in the Pacific. obviously.
anything having to do with World War II, mad fucks me up. I'm gonna be real honest. Like I get really emotional for some reason about it. Every doesn't matter what Hacksaw Ridge. Woof.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That
I
movie
want to
takes
see
me
All
out.
Quiet on the Western Front, the new one on
Me
Netflix. That
too.
looks so good.
So good, but yeah.
I started watching From
Mm.
the epic series starring Harold Perrineau and
Perrineau.
Eon Bailey.
I
That's
want to
really
see
good.
that
Very
Yeah?
good. Yeah, creepy. Very creepy.
because I saw it popped up in my hey featured suggested for you, and I was like, oh okay. So I looked at the description and I was like, that sounds like something I would watch.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
it's pretty good. And I was going to watch this past weekend Evil Dead Rise, and I was just
Mhm.
trying to justify spending $20 to rent it or buy it. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should look at one of the 200 or 300 movies I have on my many streaming services list to watch. Doing that, I came across Air. Matt
Mm.
Damon, Jason Bateman, Chris Tucker, Viola Davis, and Ben Affleck directed it and was in it.
Yeah.
It is to date for me the best movie of the year so far.
Really?
Yeah, by far. Full disclosure, I've not seen every movie this year. or every great movie this year. But most of the time, movies of the year is like the Academy Awards. I'm like, fuck off. That's not. But yeah,
Well-
this movie is fantastic.
I'll find time to watch it probably
It
tomorrow night.
screams right from the beginning. You are in 1984, and everything about the movie. They took so much like just little things in the convenience store, things
Mhm.
they ate, stuff in the room, things they were playing at their office. And yeah, he makes a fuckload of money. My God. And yeah, it was all
Yeah.
his mom.
It was all his mom
He
who was
didn't
like,
even want
no,
anything to do
we're
with
gonna
Nike.
negotiate this.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, he's sitting pretty because of it now.
Oh my God. They're saying spoiler. I mean, you can Google it. To this day, he makes about $400 million a year from
Yeah.
his Nike contract.
And I thought the Friends cast was doing well at 20 million a year.
Yeah, no, they got nothing. That's just his Nike. He's got a couple other
Yeah.
things too.
He's got a few other things, and then I think it's really great because it's afforded him the ability to literally just retire and live the way he was living when he was playing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there are no changes, there's no difference. He doesn't have to hustle for work. He can literally just do what he wants when he wants.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
But yeah, the whole thing is fantastic. The
Oh.
act, everything, just yeah.
The other thing I did this weekend, it has nothing to do with movies, but kind of. I commiserated about the Leafs
Oh, for fuck. Yeah.
losing their series, which was fine. I mean, yay, you made it to the second round. But then me and my
folded.
dad me and my dad had a whole conversation about what we would do to rework the entire he was just like, there are two that need to go for sure. And the coach, he's like, he needs to go home. He's done. And I was like, okay.
Well, maybe
no,
next
no,
year they'll
no.
get to the third round.
Well, now the GM is thinking about leaving, so he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be here next year. I'm like, could you decide real quick?
Yeah.
Because
What?
we want to get. Did I? Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Thought I'd frozen. But yeah, that took up hockey talk took up a lot of the weekend, as well as moving shit around. Because we're completely just moving everything in the house. And it made me sad because I didn't get to watch as much stuff as I wanted to.
I never get to watch as much stuff as I wanted to. Go back 20 years, and I was either going to school full time, working a bit, watching one or two
Mhm.
movies, staying up playing video games for a few hours, going to the bar, and yeah. Now I'm lucky. My weekend is like Friday. Friday I might be able to get a movie in. Saturday I can get usually 2 movies in.
Yeah.
One of those is usually a kids movie. The
Hey, there's nothing wrong
5-year-old
with that.
found out that Super Mario Brothers out for buying now.
Yeah.
So
I
guess
saw
what
that
I'm
actually
watching?
today, and I
The
was like,
movie?
no, I didn't see the movie today.
Oh, you saw that was
Um,
for sale. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had to work and then I had to run errands, which really sucked. So all I could do was play some old episodes of Supernatural in the background while I was doing stuff. Which is another thing that I do, and then I get really sucked up because Pluto TV has a whole Matlock channel. Okay.
Have you seen the preview for the new Matlock show
No, I haven't seen the preview for
with Kathy Bates as Joanne Matlock or something along those lines?
no.
And it's
What?
actually, well, I love Kathy Bates. She's awesome.
She is.
And yeah, I don't know if she's actually related. Or they're playing it as it's a coincidence.
Oh,
No, a coincidence. And Matlock
could
is
you not-
actually a TV show, and her last name is Matlock, and she's actually a lawyer, and she's old. So, but
gonna look
what
it
I caught a clip of looked pretty funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I will be watching Super Mario this weekend. Probably more than once. I already went to the theater with her and watched it.
No,
She loved it.
that's fantastic.
So I'm paying
probably
the
end up watching it.
$25 to buy it, and yeah. It's good though. It's funny. And it will probably be good the 2 or 3 more times I watch it. After that, it's gonna like I've seen Puss in Boots like 6, 7 times now.
God bless.
I've seen Frozen 1 and 2 a lot. She just started accepting more, broadening her horizon. We watched Up. She loved.
Yeah.
She loved Finding Nemo. So she's
Finding
starting to
Nemo's
watch
classic,
other
though.
movies. Yeah. And with Disney Plus, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I do love it for watching kid movies with the kids. Okay, so now we are going back because we have been here before to 1985
Mm-hmm.
with some of the best movies ever. I heard a millennial saying, nothing against millennials, that 1994 was actually the best. And it makes sense because that's their year. But 1985 wasn't even my year. But Back to the Future, Beverly Hills Cop, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rocky IV, Cocoon, Witness, and The Goonies were 7 of the movies.
Those
in
are all
1985.
fantastic.
1985 was a good year.
It was a very good
And
year.
yeah, it was also. Did I not bring it up? I did. Just one of the guys.
Mm,
Now, have you seen this?
yes, and I didn't realize I had seen it. Like, it sounded familiar when we first said the title, and then when I saw the, like, pictures that went with it, I was like, "Wait a second. I have seen this." Which I'm very excited about because I remember loving this movie.
All right. Well, let's get into a 1985 mood. Do. Headlines from 1985. April 18th, Wham! Became the first Western pop act to release an album in China.
Yes, Wham!
Wake me up before you go. 16th, April 16th, NASA Space Shuttle mission Discovery 4 returns to Earth. So I think it left before
Yeah.
April. April 20th, this is for you. Carlos Lopez runs world record marathon. He's from Portugal.
Yes.
And
You
he
can
did it
tell
in 2 hours and 7 minutes.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
actually like 48 seconds.
Weirdly, marathon running is one of the sports that Portugal tends to do very well in. Like, I
Really?
don't know why. None of my family runs.
April 23rd, new Coke debuts. Coca-Cola announced it is changing its secret flavor formula and it's in stores. Because I would have been young, very young, 1985, but I do kind of remember this, and people lost their ever fucking minds. I went down a rabbit hole when I went and looking
Yeah.
for information on this one.
I never tried the new Coke, mainly because we didn't really drink Coke in our house, because we had a pop factory like a block or two away from us where we would pick up bottles of pop for parties and stuff, and we didn't drink it on the daily. So new Coke in general was just a party time thing. Like, we didn't have that on the regular.
France performs nuclear tests in Morora Atoll. And we
Oh.
all know France, iguana on the island equals Godzilla in 1998. Fucking French. Israeli actress and Wonder Woman, born Rosh Hayayan.
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's.
I want
the
to say
Hebrew
Hey
base.
Ayan. She's
Yeah,
born in
that's.
Israel.
I'm pretty sure that's not it.
No,
You realize you didn't add her name in that, right?
I
Gal
didn't add her
Gadot?
name.
Yeah.
Oh, Gal Gadot. Yeah, no, sorry. Yes, yeah. For those listening,
For those listening, the Israeli actress we were talking about, who was in Wonder Woman,
yeah.
was Gal Gadot.
Actually, this doesn't make it to the podcast. This only happens on YouTube, so they see the picture.
They see the picture. It's fine.
First U.S. ambassador since Saigon fell arrives in Vietnam in May 9th, 1885. Some Kmart. 1985 Kmart ads. You see the fashion there and the shoes.
Oh, the shoes are fantastic.
Look at that, $7 for some shoes. And
Well,
they actually don't
yeah.
look that bad. They look kind of cool.
Yeah, you can see the 4 stripes on that back shoe.
Yeah,
It's
And-
Adidas Plus.
those are definitely some more more teen or college wear.
Oh my god, so many biker shorts
Yeah,
and skirts.
a lot of Miami Vice style
High
here.
top running shoes. Yes. Oh, no socks with your shoes, my friend.
Your suit jacket with the rolled up sleeves.
Yep. The short tie. Yeah.
Some popular toys in 1985 were bed bugs. That was Office Barbie.
Yeah,
And-
Office Barbie.
Wuzzles.
I remember the Wessels. I never had one.
And Teddy Ruxpin made its debut in 85, and it wasn't long before it was selling over 41,000 talking teddy bears a month.
I always wanted a Teddy Ruxpin. Never got one. and
My
I'm so
brother always
sad.
wanted Teddy Ruxpin. He never got one either.
They should reissue that just for shits and giggles. So like all the adults who didn't get it as a kid can buy one.
I don't hate doing that. I actually like doing this, but I hate doing it because I read the thing and then I look something up. But then
Mm,
Teddy Ruxpin was released periodically throughout the 90s as well.
mm,
I don't know. I don't think you can get one now though.
no, unless you want to get it on eBay for like $1,000. And look, I don't have enough childhood trauma for that.
No. Let's go to what is this?
It's intermission.
Nope.
That is incorrect.
Let's go to the box office. So, just one of the guys on a $5 million budget opened at number 2 with $3 million and just over $300,000. It would close at over $11.5 million. So it
Not bad.
actually did okay. And
Yeah.
then when you have video rentals and sales and stuff, which wasn't it was there in 1985, but it wasn't as predominant as like the 90s. But
No.
there's still money to be made, so it did okay.
Well, during the 80s, it would definitely be more licensing for TV or
Yes.
airing on TV.
And one of the things I did find out was this was played a lot on HBO, a lot on some movie channels, like a lot. So
Yeah.
and it could have been one of those ones where it was thrown in with something, but
Mm.
it looks like it was at least profitable for the company that
They're
made
probably
it.
still getting royalties from it.
Number 1 was a movie called Stick. I never even heard of, and it starred Burt Reynolds. Never heard of
Is
it.
that Candice Bergen?
I don't know. I will do a quick search here because now I'm curious because it does look like
Right?
Stick.
She was a hottie when she was younger.
There he is. And it starred Burt Reynolds. And yes, you are correct. Candice Bergen. Also George Segal, the grandpa from Goldbergs and Just Shoot
Yeah.
Me. Charles Dunning, Richard Lawson, Jose
Wow.
Perez. Yeah, a lot of actors in this.
Huh.
And I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either.
So there you go.
So weird.
Number 3 was Police Academy 2, their first assignment. I was at the drive-in to see this.
I was not. However, I watched all the police academies like way after on TV. I have a special place in my heart for these movies.
Yes, I watched
It's
these a lot on TV too.
yeah,
All of them.
pretty much all of I
Like
think I have
I
watched
think
all of them.
City Under Siege was number 6.
Oh, I haven't
They
got
went
that
to
far.
Miami. Yeah, they went to Miami. I didn't
I
see
think I
like
only did like the first
Moscow.
3.
Oh no, then you have not seen because 4
Well,
was
I have a
Citizens
lot
on
to watch
Patrol.
then.
5 was Miami Beach. 6 was City Under Siege, and they went to Moscow and somewhere else. There's a ton.
Jeez. I love the first one, and it's been a while since I've seen it. Probably about 7 years. But every time it was on TV, I'd be like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, yes!" And then I'd watch it.
This was around the time when I think my mother was working at a factory at nights. So
Mm,
in the summertime, one of the things my dad would do, because it was something to do, would go to the drive-in.
yeah.
And this would have been something that we all because the first one's rated R for language and nudity and all that stuff. And then they really went like PG, more family oriented. And Steve Guttenberg was up to number 4. After that, I don't know if I watched them
Mm.
after that without him. But yeah, I did like them. Moving Violations was number 4. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
This is about a group of wacky people that get their license taken away from them and they have to go to driving school. And then there's some sort of sinister plot. It sounds very 80s. I would like to check it out just because it sounds stupid.
I say we watch it.
Yeah,
I
it
say
might
we
be.
watch it as the what the fuck movie was that?
I actually
is
that might be what this might be a perfect one, kind of like what we have a couple sitting in reserve
Yeah.
for backups. This might be one of those ones. Mask was number
Oh,
5. I do remember this. I do remember liking it.
yeah.
Eric Stoltz,
Mhm.
Cher, The
Mhm.
Greatest Mustache. one of the top 3 greatest mustache that ever lived.
100%. Honestly, he's probably one of the few men in this entire world who can wear a mustache and it doesn't creep me out.
My wife still has a crush on him, and she saw him in what was that movie? TV show with Jane Fonda, and it's on Netflix. Frankie and Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
He plays one of the boyfriends, and
Oh,
she's like,
really?
he still looks really good. I'm like, I think he's in his late 70s. She's like, yeah, but that mustache, he looks pretty good.
Sam, honestly, he's one of those people that no matter how old he's 78 years old now, by the way. Just
Yeah, but he still looks good.
still, so I'm not even gonna lie to you. Roadhouse was where my crush for him
Oh, yeah,
began
Roadhouse, yeah.
because I was like, "Whoa, you're so cute."
And if I
Patrick Swayze, who?
yeah, I can't quite remember, but he doesn't look all that different from because he's in the new, or he was in one of the new what's that Kevin Costner Paramount show?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. He was in one of the Yellowstone ones. Other
I
than
think
his
is
he
he in
was
1883
1883.
with
Other than his mustache being completely white, he still looks pretty
he looks
close to,
so good.
and he was in that Netflix show with Kiefer not Kiefer Sutherland. Ashton
Donald
Kutcher,
Sutherland? Oh, Ashton Kutcher.
where they had the ranch.
Oh, okay.
He plays the dad.
He's one of those men who figured out his look early on in life and just didn't change it because he was like, "Why? It works."
Yeah, like what's
And
his
I
name? Who did
appreciate
the
that.
oatmeal commercials? William Bradley.
Him.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Do you know
forgot.
he was like 52 when he did Cocoon?
I heard that.
I'm like, oh my god.
See, but the creepiest thing about it is because he's dead now.
Yeah,
Um,
but he looked the
until
exact
he
same
died,
from
he
when he
looked
died.
exactly the same.
Yeah, because he was in Seinfeld in the 90s as a small part, and he looked exactly like he did in Cocoon.
100%. He just stayed the same. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is weird, but I appreciate you.
which means he was in his late 40s when he did The Thing. And
Yeah.
he pretty much, like, he must have hit like 40 years old, looked 80, and stayed looking like that for the rest of his life for
God
the next
bless.
30 years.
Good for him.
Number 6 was Lady Hawk. I love this movie. Michelle Pfeiffer, Rutger Hauer, and Ferris Bueller there. Matthew Broderick. It's the one where it's a medieval one where
Oh,
Michelle Pfeiffer and Rutger Hauer are lovers. They get cursed. He protects her at night as a wolf. She helps him during the help
oh,
protect as an eagle.
I have not seen this.
Oh, it's a great movie. Well, okay, I said that about Steel Dawn too, so I'm pretty sure it's better than Steel Dawn.
Everything is better than Steel Dawn.
Oh,
That should be a challenge for us.
yeah, find the movie that's
Find a movie
worse.
worse.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
I loved this movie so much.
My cousin was a Madonna freak, and she would watch every movie, good or bad, and love it, good or bad. Every album, yeah. I
Okay,
don't remember. I kind of remember this movie a bit. I
yeah,
think this was one of her highest rated movies.
this is one of the only 2 movies that she's ever been good in. It was this one and Evita.
I thought League of Their Own.
League of Their Own, she was good, but she was barely in it. Like in
That's true.
Evita and Desperately Seeking Susan, she's a main character. League of Their Own, she's like a supporting character. She's got a cute couple one-liners, she dances, she's saucy, great. But it's not a movie about her. This is a movie about her, and she's actually good in it. Same thing with Evita. Everything else she's done.
Yeah, I remember being like a young kid going, I don't like these movies.
God, I'm terrible.
Like
Terrible.
I remember her being like hot in the 80s,
Yeah.
like as a
So hot.
but you can't like she is so synonymous with 80s pop culture
Yes, 80s and even 90s.
and even 90s. Yeah,
Like she was putting out some really great stuff in the 90s and even the early 2000s. And I didn't stop being a Madonna fan, but I wasn't really into her stuff like once she started getting into like the mid 2000s. The stuff that she was putting out just wasn't my jam. So I
Yeah.
stuck to like the 80s and 90s stuff.
Beverly Hills Cop was number 8. At this time, this movie was already had made like $200 million. It was just
Yeah.
starting to wind down because I think it was the number 1 movie of 1985.
It's a fucking classic.
Yes, I remember it being and I've seen it way more than once. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, it was.
No, same. I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's also, I think, God, the last time I saw it was probably 10 years ago.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
For me.
But
It was
I,
good though.
oh,
I remember
laughed
loving it.
my ass off.
His movies were pretty good.
Yeah.
The Last Dragon. I don't remember.
I don't remember
this.
that.
No. Of course, I wasn't really going. Like, if I was taken to the drive-in, that's one thing. I wasn't going really to the movies in 1985. Witness was number 10. This movie I
Okay.
remember being amazing.
I loved this movie. And because I remember watching it on TV in the 90s a few times. And then I didn't watch it for a long while. And then one day it was on, I think, AMC. And I was like, oh, let me just watch Witness. And I was like, this is still so fucking good. Look at the Amish.
Yeah. I remember loving this movie.
Yeah.
The only VHS and Betamax release of April 1985 was The Cotton Club. I put this in because when I saw it, I'm like, no, that can't be right. And then I forgot, like, nowadays, every week you can find, they might not be good, but there's at least 4 or 5 new movies coming out every week.
Yeah.
Back then,
yeah, because
this
not
wasn't even
everybody
a
had
new
a
movie.
machine. Yeah.
The Cotton Club was a few years before 1985, I believe. No, yeah.
Not everybody had an at-home either VHS or Betamax. They were still in the fight to figure out which format was gonna be the one to go to. And a lot of studios weren't willing to invest in this
Yeah.
because this was a risk.
Yeah.
Having an
Yeah.
at-home version was a risk.
One cassette to rule them all.
Yep.
It ended up being VHS.
Which is weird because Betamax had like better quality,
Yes.
but I think
Yeah,
it
it
was
was a
also
better
more
quality.
expensive.
It was more expensive. And apparently it goes that the porn industry decided VHS because it was cheaper, way cheaper to mass produce. And then once porn hit VHS, everyone was like telling their wives, I think we're going to get a VHS. I heard it's better.
Yeah.
So they went
Come
with
on,
the VHS.
sweetie.
The number 1 and 2 rated shows was Dynasty and Dallas. This flipped apparently. Like I think the year before this, Dallas was number 1 and Dynasty was number 2. Dallas was on since 1978, Dynasty since 1981, something
And
like
they're
that.
both magic.
I remember
both of them.
my parents. Well, I remember Dallas being.
Yeah.
My parents preferred Dallas, and I remember whatever night, it didn't matter if we were watching something, it was off and Dallas was coming on. I still remember the opening.
Yeah. Oh
with
God, yeah.
Texas opening with the 3 split screens and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
And God, I wanted to live on a ranch, on an oil. And I was like, I want to do this. But I will tell you this story really quick. So Dallas, one of the actresses on there is Charlene Tilton, and she is my cousin's namesake. So my cousin was named after Charlene Tilton on Dallas. Go
Off
ahead.
of Dallas.
Yep. Literally.
My mother
Literally.
named me after the 1970s Doctor Who.
Oh, nice.
The actor who played I think his name was James, or it was a character. I don't know. She was a big Doctor Who fan, and yeah, like my grandfather, my biological father, and my grandfather are both named James, but my mother only agreed to it because she was such a big doctor. So she goes, "You think you were named after them, but you weren't. You're named after Doctor Who."
Because I think the 5th Doctor. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he might actually be the 10th Doctor's father-in-law.
I
think that was
the Billboard. I wish we could play.
I wish we could too.
We always get nailed by YouTube. They don't care about the movie.
No.
Things. Do you think? Because every time I did this, 7 of the songs that we listened to, I would be like, "Oh shit," and it would end up on my playlist because I forgot about the song, and I'm like, that's an awesome song. But yeah, we get dinged every time we play a song. Don Henley, All She Wants to Do Is Dance was number 10. I'm on Fire, Bruce Springsteen was number 9. Some Like It Hot, The Power Station. Obsession and
Ooh.
Emotion.
I remember this song.
One Night in Bangkok, Murray Head. See, this one's not ringing a bell, but I
No.
bet you if I fucking heard it.
Probably.
Don't You Forget About Me, Simple Minds. This
Classic.
Nothing says 80s. There are some songs that just transport you to the 80s. This
Yep.
is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Night Shift by the Commodores.
Fantastic song.
Rhythm of the Night, DeBarge.
Yes. Love this song.
Yeah, I like this one too. Crazy for You, Madonna.
I love that song.
And the number one song at the time of the Just One of the Guys came out that week was We Are the World, USA for Africa. I remember this fucking thing.
I watched that video so many times.
Oh yeah, where all the movie people were singing. And, yeah. We Are the World. All right. Now I'm going to just check to see because I might have screwed this up. Nope, I didn't. So give me a second.
It's okay.
Haven't seen any more rodents. That's good. Means the show can continue to record.
You don't have to go hide.
I called during the intermission. I called my wife and I'm like, I can't find it. If you want to look for it, just don't bug me. She's like, did you scream? I'm like, no.
It's fantastic.
All right. So, so that means now we can get into Just One of the Guys. And that means Tale of the Tape. Not you, Teddy Rupskin. Phew. All right. So, Just One of the Guys is a 1985 comedy film rated PG-13 and comes in at an hour and 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So there is some story to this movie.
You got to give time for the hijinks.
And I, for some reason, thought this movie was rated R. I thought for sure there were boobs.
That's what the PG-13 is.
I hope so.
Boobies.
Taglines. Terry Griffith is about to go where no woman has gone before.
Eh.
This is a long one. She's 18. She's great looking. And now Terry Griffith is about to set off an epidemic of comic hysteria when she enrolls in a new high school as Just One of the Guys.
That's terrible.
These are some from other countries. If you translate it in German, it translates to she had to become a boy to be recognized as a girl.
Interesting. Okay.
In Sweden, translates to the slightest mistake would mean she was snubbed. What the fuck?
I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, stupid Swedes. Synopsis. When Terry Griffith, Joyce Heiser, loses her high school's writing competition, she's convinced that it's because she's a girl. So Terry decides to change high schools and pose as a boy to prove her point. Her brother, Buddy, Billy Jacoby, helps her pass as a guy so well that she is soon making friends with the boys at school, including the attractive Rick, Clayton Ronner, who becomes her new best friend. But her gender swapping makes things difficult when she falls in love with him.
Well, of course.
And now if we go to, let's take a look at the posters. That one that we looked at the beginning, this is the DVD. And this has never been a huge popular movie, but I do remember this cover more than this one.
Yeah.
Now, this was the closest I could get to a movie poster. I mean, there's nothing on the internet. I don't know if it was lost. But it's funny for those listening. There's a locker room. There's two guys with towels on. One's blow drying his hair. One's reaching for something. She's turned around in the middle with two football helmets covering her breasts. So cool. I do like the poster.
No, the poster is great.
Which brings us to ratings. 14 critic reviews have this at 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's fine, like in line for a comedy like this in the 80s. 5,000, again, not an overly popular movie. Audience rating giving it 65%, so a little higher. Again, pretty normal. Some of the fresh ones were Just One of the Guys is worth repeated viewing, especially for Heiser's hilarious and charismatic performance. Another one, Just One of the Guys is a charming and wild 1980s teen comedy anchored by Joyce Heiser's charismatic and unexpectedly committed performance. A sassy, funny beginning for the summer film season. An exceedingly erratic yet mostly agreeable comedy. Here's some rotten ones. Joyce Heiser, affecting a lower register, a short haircut, and a subtle swagger, is not totally convincing as a boy because she's too pretty and too chic.
I'd just like to point out that I've met many a boy who were too pretty and too chic.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. Even back when we were kids, there were boys that were very pretty.
Especially in the 80s.
Yeah.
And we're talking about like cisgendered heterosexual men who could do a like cat winged eyeliner better than most women or anybody who's put on makeup. Like the 80s was the time to be too pretty and too chic, no matter what your gender was.
Now, you got to also remember that in 1985, these critics were probably teens and stuff in their 60s. And I looked at a lot of pictures in the 70s, and every teen in the 70s looks like they're 40 fucking years old.
True story.
They all
True
have
story.
mustaches and long hair.
Mustaches, long hair. And for some reason, skincare and SPF was not a thing. So
No. So I kind of see their point at a year, 1985. But yeah, the film is a bit too fashion conscious to make a very strong point about appearances not meaning anything. Go to IMDb. 17,000 users have this at 6.5.
Okay.
With basically the plus being, just think of this as Legally Brunette, 9 out of 10. Who Said the Beautiful Girls Are Not Smart Enough, 7 out of 10. If Loving Joyce Heiser is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right, 6 out of 10. Great B comedy from the 80s, sex romp vibes, but with heart, 7 out of 10. Not a great movie. My thing's blocking that. But a very charming and likable one, 7 out of 10. Some of the bad ones, I thought it would be good. I was wrong. 4 out of 10. It was the 80s. That is all I can say. 4 out of 10. Just one of the 80s ignorant movies. I thought that was clever on the play on the title of the movie. 3 out of 10. A slice of 80s life, but not a laugh riot. 5 out of 10. The most overplayed movie on cable. 1 out of 10.
Oh my God. Fantastic.
So now let us watch the trailer. There we go. It's not a long trailer, so let's take a look.
Who wanted to be taken seriously.
I am going to be a reporter.
But her body kept getting in the way.
Pretty girl, you could be a model.
Sometimes I just wish I were a guy.
No, you don't. The male body needs sex at all times. It's a living hell.
So to prove to the men in her life she had a mind, Terry decided to try life as a guy.
How do I look?
Dashing.
My zipper's open.
That was the dashing part.
What a fox. Dresses like Elvis Costello. Looks like the Karate Kid. I'm gonna get him.
Today's woman has the freedom to be just as sick and perverted as us guys.
She learned their secrets.
I have surprise jock inspections 3 times a week. A word to the wise.
And dated their women.
Yeah, but I got this one rule. I never go out with girls who say bitchy.
Now the question is,
What's going on?
Wait, it gets better.
can a girl tell the boy she loves
Terry's such a stallion. Go on, show me your hairy chest.
she's not the man he thinks she is?
Wait a minute, are those what I think they are?
Yep, it's one of a kind. My bro.
Just one of the guys.
confused. Of course you're confused. You're wearing my underwear.
Go ahead, show them your hairy chest. Brother looks familiar, very
Yes.
familiar. The guy she falls in love with looks very familiar.
The brother. Oh, Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
I love that show when I was a kid.
I think that was what I remember him from. Oh, he was also in Cujo.
The brother?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was the kid at the beginning.
You learn something new every day. That's who he is.
Who? The brother or the guy she
No,
falls in love with?
the guy that she falls in love with. I was like, he looks so familiar. And then
Clayton Ronner.
I just saw a more recent photo of him, and I was like, oh, he usually plays someone really creepy, like the creepy older guy on like TV shows. You know, the one that like is the professor that hits on his students.
Well, William Zabka's in it. He wasn't in the preview. Who played Johnny Lawrence in Karate Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl Finn is the girl that falls in love with.
Yes.
Which she's been in tons of stuff. And
Yes.
yeah, I think I have a crush on Joyce Heiser and Cheryl Flynn.
Yes.
Has she done
Valid.
anything else?
She was on
I know she's done other thing else. Oh, she's been in a few things.
She's been in a lot of things. She was on
She's been
Gilmore
in quite a
Girls
few
for a
shows,
little
yeah.
while. Twin Peaks, which is what we all know her from, or at least I know her from. But she's done like a crap ton of movies, and she's all over the place, man. She keeps showing up, and you keep
Yeah.
seeing her face. And I happen to know her name, but she's one of those actresses that most people are like, oh, I know her. Friends. That's where a lot of people would know her from. She plays the woman that dated Joey, and she has a prosthetic leg, and then Joey throws her on the fire.
Oh,
They're
okay.
cuddled up at a cabin, but then she dates Chandler, and then Chandler's totally fine with her having a prosthetic leg. Like, it doesn't bother him at all, but she's creeped out because he has a nubbin, and then she
right.
like disappears.
That's her?
That's her.
Oh, wow. No, look at
Yeah.
that. All right. It looks really 80s.
Super 80s.
Which is good. It's yeah. What do you
go
think?
either way.
Are you gonna like it or not like it?
I might like it just for the fashion. I'm gonna be real honest right now. I don't get me wrong. I think the brother's gonna be good comic relief. I just from that thing, because I remember it because when I watched She's the Man reminded me of this movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, that's because I was like, I feel like I've already seen this movie. And then I remembered that they did one in the 80s where a girl pretends to be a guy and like
Yeah.
falls in love with one of her guy friends, whatever. So I was like, oh, this seems really familiar, but I have a feeling it's a movie that's not going to age well, which makes me sad. But I'm hoping I really like the fashion. It looks like I will from the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks all right. It looks it looks like it falls in that Better Off Dead that type of comedy.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's better than Mannequin.
I really hope it's better than Mannequin.
And Weekend at Bernie's. Although it's that nostalgia thing we talked about. I was thinking about the Weekend at Bernie's the other day because I was cleaning up and I had the DVD and I'm like, I might watch that again. Until I start watching and go, I'm not going to watch this. I'm going to turn this off.
There are certain movies that you attach to like a time and a feeling.
Yeah, that's
so
exactly.
Even if it's the shittiest movie in the world, you still love it deep in your heart.
Yeah.
Like you might not want to watch it again, but you will defend it to the death.
Yeah. Stupid Weekend at Bernie's. No, I think this one looks all right. This looks like it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. I don't think it'll be fantastic. I don't think I'm going to recommend it to the world and be like, everybody needs to watch it right now. However, I mean, I have a feeling it's going to be, if it's on TV, watch it. It's a good time.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to watch Just One of the Guys.
Mm-hmm.
And next week, we'll see if it is as good as we remember. So join us next week when we review Just One of the Guys. And we'll go back after that to 2005 and preview 2005's House of Wax, starring Chad Michael Murray, Paris Hilton, Alicia Cuthbert, Brian Von Holt, I didn't know was in this, and your favorite. Do you remember?
Which one's my favorite?
Jared
Who?
Padalecki.
Oh, you mean Jared Padalecki?
Yeah. Yeah, he's in it too. I didn't know he was in it either. Alicia Cuthbert was in it. I knew Paris Hilton was in it. I knew Chad Michael Murray. I didn't know Brian Van Holt was in it. And I didn't know Jared was in it.
I didn't remember Jared was in it. However, I have a love-hate relationship with him.
With his movies?
With him as an actor and also him as a person, but that's separate. Because he might be like mildly a white supremacist. I'm just saying. It
Like,
makes
for
me
reals?
Yeah, like for reals.
Oh, that changes a lot.
And like some of the stuff he's tweeted, I'm like, sir, you know this is public, right?
Why is it when they get older they turn weird?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
They
It
don't
makes me
become
a
as
little
they're not as
uncomfortable.
famous anymore, so they don't have as many people saying, "Whoa, whoa,
He
whoa."
has Walker Texas Ranger, which might explain some stuff. But anyways, but I try not to pay attention to his personal stuff. Otherwise, I feel like I've wasted my life watching all 15 seasons of Supernatural twice, and now I'm going through it for a third time. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is he does nostril acting. Like he
Oh,
acts through
yeah.
his nostrils. His breathing when he needs to convey an intense feeling of any kind drives me fucking bananas. I'm like, use the rest of your face, fucker. It makes me so angry. Also, I kind of hate Dean from Gilmore Girls. I also hate Rory, but there were a lot of hateable characters in that show. But I watched it. I watched all of it. Because after 3 seasons in, you're like, I gotta keep going. I gotta finish this.
Was that Gilmore Girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched that.
He plays one of the most, like, he was fine when they were in high school. He was kind of, a dude, whatever. Fine. And then he just turns into like this amoral, bullshitty, just douchebag. And Rory is all amoral and bullshitty with him. And and there was a lot of nostril acting, and I can't. And them's my thoughts on Jared Padalecki.
Poor Jared Padalecki. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook, I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Twitter at Good Bad I Dunno. Actually, hold on. I have it here. Watch. It's exactly what it sounds like.
I love it.
There we go.
Good, bad, I don't know. That's what we should have named this podcast.
Yeah, Good Bad. I don't know.
Good, bad, I don't know. We're gonna watch it.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it regardless. Yeah. So that's it. We're done.